Hey yogis, welcome back. Today we have an all levels class. This is going to be really good for getting rid of all of that stagnant energy that lays dormant in our bodies. Just an opportunity to move, find that fluidity. So we'll start in child's pose today. Big toes together. Take your sitting bones back to your heels first. Keep that connection and then start to walk your hands out in front. Forehead, chest to the earth. And once you've found your variation of this posture, I'm going to encourage you guys to start to tap into the breath. As always, we take this opportunity to start to feel the rhythm, the in, the out, to get rid of that stale air that lingers in the lungs, and also to get rid of all of those expectations for this class. Just allow it to be whatever it needs to be. We'll take just 2 more breaths here. Elongating the inhale and the exhale. 1 more. Really nice. Slow and steady. Come up to your all fours. We'll take a variation of cat-cow. As you breathe in, drop the belly, lift the gaze, lift the heels towards your sitting bones. And as you breathe out, start to round through the spine. Push the tops of your feet into the earth, so much so that your knees hover. Let's take a breath in. Belly drops, gaze lifts, heels lift. Slow and steady as you breathe out, round the spine, pushing the floor away, knees hover. 1 more like that. Breathe in, drop the belly, lift the gaze, lift the heels. Breathe out, slowly hover the knees. Good, come back to your all fours. Now here we're going to try out something a little different. If you were with us in studio, this might be familiar, but I'm going to ask you guys to come to the front of your mat if you're not there already. And once you've started, slow and steady, push the floor away, ground your hands, hover the knees. Really good, just hold here for a moment. And start to feel the belly turn on. Even this really simple shape, there's this core engagement that we need to make sure that we can sustain this 4 points of contact, knees lifted. We'll take 1 more big breath in. Slow and steady. Breathe out, drop the knees. We'll walk our hands now out in front. Anahatasana. Start to melt your heart down towards your mat, leaving your hips on top of your knees. Now here I'm going to encourage you guys, activate through the arms, push the floor away, forwards in space. And as much as you're trying to get your chest towards the earth, see if your elbows can hover. And just a couple of breaths. Allowing the upper anterior side of the body to open. Just 1 more big breath in. And a really long breath out. And push back up towards your all fours. Tuck your toes. Let's find our first downward facing dog. And start to pedal out the heels straight away. 1 heel towards the earth and then the other. But as the sensation starts to creep into the lower half of the body, can you still maintain an awareness surrounding your hands, pushing heavily into the earth? And just spending 1 more breath in this posture. If you feel like you need stillness, take it. A bend in the knees, sitting bones up towards the sky. Rise up onto your toes as you breathe in. Start to ripple the body forward. Find your high plank. Breathe out. We'll just spend 1 long inhale here, feeling the belly turn on. And then as you exhale, shift forward, lower your knees, lower all the way down to the earth. One cheek to the mat, hands down by your sides. A perfect opportunity to check in with your breath this early on in class. Making sure it's slow and controlled. Let's exhale. As you inhale, come into your Shalabhasana pose. Locust pose, peeling the chin and chest up off of the earth, squeezing your shoulder blades together, legs hugging to the midline, glutes squeezing. Feel this back body liven up. We'll take just one more long breath in. And then as you exhale, slowly lower back down. Readjust your hands next to your ribs. Let's take a baby cobra. As you breathe in, make sure hands are hover. And then push back towards your downward facing dog. All right, guys, we're gonna head straight towards our float. Breathe out together. Right leg rises, breathe in, three-legged dog, keep the hips square. Knee to nose, round the spine to step in between the hands. Drop the back knee, find a crescent lunge. Now here I'm really going to encourage you guys, start to open the psoas by tucking the tailbone down and under. Knead the hip points, the lower ribs together, hands up towards the sky. And keep breathing into the belly as much as it's turned on. We don't want to lock the breath out. We still want to find that fluidity. We'll take one more big breath in to reach up. And cactus the arms as you breathe out. Open up the chest, squeeze the shoulder blades together, breathe in. And then as you exhale, tuck the tailbone down more, round the upper spine, chin towards chest. Let's do that one more time. Breathe in, open up, back bend only if the belly's on. And then as you breathe out, tuck the tailbone round the upper spine. Let's breathe in, regular crescent lunge, come up on that back toe. Again, keep tucking that tailbone. Want to make sure there's a nice bend in that back knee so we can really get deep into those hip flexors. Let's breathe in one more time. Warrior two as you breathe out. Front knee over ankle, and we're looking for just as much force through this front leg as the back. So ensure you're evening that out. Shoulders can be soft, but arms are really strong. Let's exhale one last time. Clasp your hands together behind you. Breathe in to open up your chest, squeeze your shoulder blades. Breathe out, humble warrior. You're aiming to get your chest towards your toes, but we're not looking to dump all of the upper body's weight onto this front thigh. Ensure you stay up a little, and when you start to round over through the spine, you know you've gone too long. A really beautiful way to open the chest in a bit of a different variation. Let's take one more breath out. As you breathe in, peel back up, open the chest. Warrior two arms, breathe out. Straight leg reverse, take a big breath in, right hand to the sky. Feel that release in the front thigh. Hands down to the earth, step back, downward facing dog. And just take a moment to feel the difference between sides. Today we're keeping it super simple, but that doesn't mean it's easy. Let's breathe out together, no expectations. Left leg, let it rise, super slow and steady. Empty the belly as you take the knee towards the nose. Step in between the hands, back knee drops, crescent lunge down on a knee. Now you may have noticed Tyler and I have been weaving these postures on a knee into our classes. This is to demonstrate to you guys whenever you feel like you need it, this is an option, always. And that doesn't necessarily mean that you always need to modify, but sometimes that is what the body needs. So listen to that. We'll breathe out. Breathe in to reach up. Breathe out to cactus the arms. Keep them really strong. As you inhale, open up the anterior side. And as you exhale, close it over, rounding the spine. One more time, breathe in, find the fluidity, squeeze the shoulder blades. Breathe out to round. Come into your regular crescent lunge as you breathe in and pause. And start to find this shape on this side. Right glute should be squeezing and a lot of energy going down through the front big toe mound. One more big breath in. Warrior two as you breathe out. Just ensuring even here that tailbone's tucked down and under, even though the hips are open now in comparisons to square to the front of our mat. If you want a little bit more to turn on through the legs, start to hug them in towards the midline. Find a little bit of extra buoyancy. Let's exhale. Hands clasp at your sacrum. Breathe in to open the chest. Keep the belly on. Humble warrior as you breathe out. Making sure that we're not causing compression in this front hip. If you need to stay quite high, activating your hands back in space, go for it. There is no right, no wrong. We just want to make sure that that chest is open, so whatever that looks like, it's perfect. Let's breathe out one last time. Breathe in to peel up, open the chest. Breathe out, warrior two arms. Straight leg reverse as you breathe in, feel the front thigh release. Hands to the earth. Step back, downward facing dog. Now when you're stepping back into downward facing dog, let's try and work on not scraping our foot against the mat. That can be tough, but really great way to build some active hip compression. Let's exhale here together and start to flow as you breathe in, right leg lifts slowly. Belly empties, knee towards nose. Step in between the hands, back knee to the earth, modified crescent lunge. A whole breath out to cactus the arms, keeping them strong. Breathe in to open up the chest. Breathe out to close it over. One more time, breathe in, open. Breathe out to close, noticing the difference in sensation. Rise to your crescent lunge, breathe in. Warrior two, land really strong, breathe out. Clasping the hands, opening the chest, inhale guys. Flow down to your humble warrior. Keep that back foot, back outer edge, grounded. Rise back up as you breathe in, keep the belly on, the chest open. Warrior two arms as you breathe out. That sweet release, here it is. Breathe in, hands to the earth. Step back, no scraping, breathe out. Left leg, let it rise as you inhale. Knee all the way to the nose, push the floor away to find that room. Step, back knee to the earth, crescent lunge. Activate tailbone down and under. Cactus the arms, use the whole breath out, no need to rush. Open to breathe in. Close to breathe out. Flow through that one more time, really observing the lower half. The sensation will move, can you pinpoint it? Crescent lunge to rise. Keep that front foot really well grounded. Warrior two, not allowing the front knee to follow inward. Slow and steady, clasp the hands, open the chest, breathe in. Humble warrior flowing down, keeping the chest open as you breathe out. Rise back up. Gaze to the sky, breathe in. Warrior two as you breathe out. Straight leg reverse, inhale, that change in sensations always coming. Hands to the earth. Downward facing dog, straight away, right side, let it lift. Knee towards the nose. Step in between the hands. Crescent lunge to rise. Cactus the arms, activate your elbows outward, breathe out. Open the chest to breathe in. Close over, round your upper spine. Push it as far away as you can. Inhale. Last one. Exhale, push it away. Rise up into the crescent lunge, guys. Breathe in. Front knee stays, back outer edge of back foot grounds. Breathe out. Set up the hands, open the chest, take a big breath in. Humble warrior, flow down towards that front foot as you breathe out. Just when you reach the edge of the breath, rise back up to inhale. Activate your arms away from one another, breathe out. Notice as the sensation changes, breathe in to reverse. Hands to the earth. Step back, no scraping, left side. When it's ready, it'll lift. Breathe in, guys. And take the knee all the way to the nose as you breathe out. Step in between the hands. Hands rise, tailbone tucks. Cactus the arm. Just take a long breath out. Open the chest to breathe in. Close over to exhale. Feel that right hip flexor. Open back up, guys. Breathe in. Close over to breathe out. Tuck those back toes. Rise up to take a big breath in. Warrior two. Land heavy. Set up the hands. Open up the chest. Take a long inhale. Humble warrior, effortlessly flow down in space. Rise back up, feel that buoyancy in the upper body. Warrior two, breathe out. That straight leg, fill up the belly. Hands to the earth. Step back, downward facing dog. Guys, just take a moment here. And breathe really heavy in and out of the belly. Let's take just one more big breath in. And can you push a little bit more air out? Let that right leg rise as you inhale. And take the knee all the way to your armpit. Step to the outer edge of that hand. Find your lizard lunge straight away. Drop that back knee. What I'm going to ask for you guys to focus on is drawing your shoulder blades forward in space, allowing the hips to drop down and forwards as well. You can untuck your back toes and then start to push the tops of your left toes into the earth. Find a really strong back leg, even though it's not lifted. We're just opening up this hip flexor and preparing for something as we move forward. Let's take one more big breath in, open your chest. And as you breathe out, peel to the outer edge of your right foot, let your right knee drop out to the right. Slow and steady, reach up, pushing the floor away. Draw left shoulder blade down your back. And then catch onto that left foot with your right hand. Coming into a twisted thigh, we want to ensure that we're allowing the hips to drop down and forward. And just notice if you guys are sitting too far back in space. That means we're eliminating the stretch that we could be getting through the left hip flexor and quad. Start to drop the hips down and forward. Take your left heel with you. We'll just take our last breath out here. And observe as the sensation changes, unravel, plant the hands down. And then slow and steady, start to shift the hips down and back. Peel your right toes off, half Hanuman. Now here we're trying to take the sitting bones up and back. Chest forward, and you can flex your right toes to find a little bit more hamstring. And that breath, that's our anchor. When this sensation feels a little bit too much, we always come back to the breath to bring it back to that familiar sensation, that comfortable sensation. Let's take our last exhale. As you breathe in, set up for your lizard lunge, come up onto the back toes, and as you breathe out, step back, no scraping, downward facing dog. Let's go to the left side, let it lift as you breathe in. Empty the belly, knee towards armpit. Step, lizard lunge, broaden your chest, then drop your back knee. Now here I'm going to ask that you guys ground down your big toe mound on your front foot. Start to ground down your right knee, the right top of your foot into the earth. Feel the strength in that foundation. And then utilize that connection to start to draw your hips down and forward, your chest proud. Again, utilizing the breath as that anchor. And that reminder that that sensation continues to change just like everything in life. Take our last breath in to open up the chest, and as you breathe out, peel onto the outer edge of the left foot, toes and knees in line. And once you are ready, we're aiming to grab hold of the right foot. Now for some of us to get that foot, we need to take our hips back in space so we can grab hold of it. And like I was explaining on the other side, as long as when you've got that connection, you start to drop the hips down. We're placing quite a lot of pressure into our right hand here. So can you draw the shoulder blade down and back towards your hips? Just to ensure we're not dumping into the front of the shoulder. Let's take just one more big breath in. And begin to unravel as you breathe out. Slow and steady, we shift the weight back. Peel the left toes up. Activate our chest forward in space. Now just throughout this little movement of our lizard lunge, our twisted thigh, our half Hanuman, we've really gone deep into the lower half, making sure we've stretched nearly every area of the lower half of our body. Really beautiful opportunity to find that space we're looking for. Let's breathe out one last time. As you breathe in, simply lift the upper body up, roll to your left sitting bone, and bring your right foot forward in space. Readjust yourself on your mat if you need. We're setting up for bridge pose now. So once you are ready, begin to lay down. Bring your heels nice and close towards your sitting bones. Now we always focus on that foundation, always. So your big toe mounds, ground them down and feel this natural hug of your legs towards the midline. Keep that. As you begin to breathe in, start to feel the buoyancy in your hips, hip points lifting towards the sky. When you feel as if you're at your limit, roll your shoulder blades underneath so you can open through the chest. And then start to push down through the big toe mounds, lifting the hips higher, opening the chest more towards the back of the room. We're looking to even out the hug of our knees to the midline and the squeezing of our glutes. Can you play with that? Rather than focusing on the shaking in the legs, can you just keep grounding down through the feet and the outer seams of the arms? Let's take one more big breath in. Slow and steady. Lower down as you breathe out. Windscreen wiper your knees from side to side. Really good. Guys, we're going to take one more back bend. If you feel comfortable with with bridge, stay with bridge. Or if you know wheel pose and it's a part of your practice, I encourage you to go for wheel. We're well and truly set up for that. So yogi's choice, but we all get to this place the same way. Start to ground down, big toe mounds, keep the feet pointing straight forward.
When you get to your height, you either come into bridge by rolling your shoulder blades underneath, or if you're coming into wheel, frame your face with your hands, push into the earth to come straight up into this posture. And just ensure that we're not letting ourselves come to our head first. We're pushing straight up, knees hug to the midline, elbows hug to the midline. One more breath. And then slowly lower down, tucking chin to chest, landing on the backs of our shoulders, bridge pose, simply lower your hips. Windscreen wiper your knees, side to side. You can hug your knees into your chest now and curl your chin, forehead towards your knees. And just feeling this beautiful flexion after a big amount of extension. Slow and steady, let the back of your skull drop towards the earth and your knees to drop over to the right side, keeping your shoulder blades grounded. And begin to become aware of your energy levels, of your heart rate, of just the general feeling of your body. Are you still holding tension? Are you resisting this pose? If you can relax deeper, I encourage you to. Use that passive exhale. And once you are ready, slowly move your legs to the other side. Right shoulder blade will ground. Keeping that breath fluid even as the midsection is twisted. Keeping the eyelids heavy and the jaw soft. So now we begin to surrender the body. Can you allow that to be your focus? And then once you are ready, our last and final pose is now upon us, Shavasana. Laying your legs out long. To keep in theme with the class, I encourage you to lift your chest and tuck your shoulder blades underneath. And close down your eyes. And find the fluidity of your breath. The rise and fall of your belly. If you would like to stay in Shavasana, please stay. This is your practice. But if you are ready to move on, slowly roll to your favorite side. And push yourself up to a seat. Bring your hands into Anjali Mudra, bow your head to your hands. Together we acknowledge the practice. We acknowledge each other and we acknowledge ourselves. Namaste. Thanks for joining me, yogis. Keep hitting those like buttons. We love hearing from you. Have a great day.